Welcome back. You're watching live from Paris on France 24. It's time now for Media Watch. We're going to find out about the top stories in the French press and on the blogs. James Creedon is here for that. Hi there, James.
Indeed. Good evening.
Now, it's pretty good to get an endorsement from the former president, isn't it?
Yes.
But perhaps not so much when that former president has a criminal record. But this is the case here in France. François Hollande, the socialist leader, up till now has been the front runner.
Yeah.
He's now got a reported endorsement from Jacques Chirac.
This is it. Now, it's actually not the first time this has happened. Some months ago, Jacques Chirac kind of let the cat out of the bag, so to speak, about this already. Now, what's interesting or surprising about this, opposite ends of the political spectrum. Well, that's exaggerating a little bit, but let's say they're not the same political party. Chirac
He's centre-right.
He's centre-right, as is Sarkozy, so you would expect him to support the man who came after him in the same political party, but that's not really the case. So what happened essentially was, if we have a look at this headline, Jacques Chirac will vote for François Hollande by procuration. Now, we'll be taking a look at that a bit later as well,
yes,
with Mark
Campaign
Perelman.
Chronicles.
This is where somebody votes on your behalf.
A proxy vote.
That's right, a proxy vote. So essentially, people close to him are saying he's planning to vote for Hollande. Now, let's roll the next set of pictures, because this was about 8-9 months ago in Corrèze, which is the constituency of both men. Now, they were visiting a Chinese exhibition, an exhibition of Chinese art, and look how shocked Hollande is, because Hollande hadn't even announced he was going to run for the party's ticket yet. And Chirac said, you know what, I'm going to vote Hollande for president. I mean, Hollande absolutely, he looks flabbergasted, doesn't he? He's like, what the hell?
He looks like he's trying to get away quite quickly.
What are you saying, man? That's essentially what the look on his face says. So what he said is, Sarkozy is the past, Hollande is the future. Now that is kind of earth-shattering stuff, really, in terms of French politics, because Chirac is the same political family as Sarkozy. This is just not done.
Oh, right. I wonder what Sarkozy has to say about it. Now, Jacques Chirac's wife, Bernadette Chirac, she's not on the same page politically at all, is she?
No, this is the most confusing thing of all. Now, I suppose like every couple advanced in their years, they don't agree on everything. But usually it's, maybe the weekly grocery bill or the shopping or something. Here, Bernadette Chirac spoke to Nice Matin, a newspaper down south, last week, and said Hollande doesn't have the stature of president. He can't be president. He doesn't have the stature of that job. Now, here she's actually retracting that statement. But in the space of 7 days, they've actually contradicted each other on the man they want to be the next president. She's saying Hollande doesn't have the stature. Chirac is saying, I'm voting for him, and that's it.
Now, there could be a more serious side to this, because of Chirac reportedly has dementia, so that might be playing a part as well.
That came up in the trial that he was in over corruption at Paris City Hall recently. But in any case, there was an article in today's Atlantico, right-leaning website. Now, this is kind of unusual. The head of the French Constitutional Council, that's kind of the elders, the state elders who kind of come in and decide on certain constitutional matters. His name is Jean-Louis Debré. I think we have pictures of him as well. He has said maybe Jacques Chirac should kind of step aside from the Constitutional Council. Why is that? Well, apparently at the last number of meetings, he had said things like, this is really boring, nothing is happening here, it's no fun, c'est pas drôle, right?
C'est pas drôle.
And apparently he's interrupting people, cracking jokes, deriding the process. Now, they're speculating in Atlantico as to whether that is down to possible health problems, or whether he just really doesn't enjoy these constitutional council
meetings. Maybe he's just thought, I've been the president, I'm at this age I'm going to speak my mind.
I've been there, I've done it all, this is boring for me.
This is boring,
right.
Wrap things up.
Right, exactly. And so in any case, Debré says, if it annoys you so much, spare yourself the bother, don't bother turning up. Bernadette also had her word to say on that. She said, no chance he's stepping aside from the Constitutional Council. She's sort of a figure that a lot of people find fascinating in France, because she was always seen as the power behind the throne, the lady Macbeth. Exactly.
Oh, right. We love a Shakespeare
Now, speaking
reference.
of, before we get on to the next topic, I saw this just before I came on air. I was going to talk about it last week. Speaking of unsuspected political support, this came out in BuzzFeed in the US last week.
Oh dear.
The Bush girls apparently
George
voted
W. Bush's
for
daughters.
Obama.
Oh
right?
dear.
Now, do you know how this came out? It actually came out via Le Monde newspaper.
That's them getting cut off from the family millions.
That's right. What happened was the former French ambassador to the US spoke to Le Monde's journalist and said, do you know what? I got a little scoop. Bush told Sarkozy that he knew that Obama was going to win over John McCain because his daughters decided that they were going to vote for him.
Oh, maybe they swung it for him.
That's right. So look,
who knew?
Nobody's loyal to their political family anymore. That's the moral of the story.
Yes. All right. Now let's stay with the election because François Hollande has also been compared to a football team.
Yeah, this is a bit weird. Nouvelle Observateur came out with this. They're saying that he's like Paris Saint-Germain, the Paris-based football team, because he's afraid of winning and he's afraid of losing. So that, he needs to like the Paris-based football team, they both need to raise their game and basically go on the offensive if they want to win.
He has been campaigning pretty hard, isn't he?
He has, and just to prove that they're a little bit wrong on that, Le Monde have this story. Well, that's not the page I was looking for, but anyways, I'll tell you what they said. He's essentially said while he was in Mayotte a couple of days ago, now I'm going to whip Sarkozy. It's difficult to translate these expressions. Maintenant on va le taper. I'm going to beat him. I'm going to smack him. It's kind of these violent images.
Violent, right?
Now, this is, many people are speculating, is because Sarkozy last week let slip to journalists, maintenant on va l'exploser. I'm going to blow him up.
Oh,
so
goodness me.
Sarkozy was in there. So they're sniping at each other behind each other's backs. These aren't official statements, but they know it's going to get out to the media.
They know it's going to get leaked.
There you go.
And you're going to pick it up.
They're being very violent.
I'm going to blow you up. Well, I'm going to beat you up. Very mature language from men hoping to lead the country.
I know, it's supposed to be a democracy, isn't it?
Absolutely. Now, poor old Eva Joly, she's the head of the Green Party. She's had a terrible campaign already.
Yes.
She's polling, 1%, 2% of the vote. And now she's fallen down and smacked her head.
That's right. Now, we're going to take a look at this again.
And it wasn't François Hollande or Nicolas Sarkozy.
No one pushed her down the stairs. We're almost sure of it. But she was doing very, very badly in the polls anyway. So this has actually put her back into the headlines. The Guardian's French politics blog was talking about her today. People are tweeting about her. She's come back into the headlines because of this unfortunate event. Now, one person here has been
it wasn't a publicity stunt, was it, James?
One person, I don't think so. I hope not anyway, because she fell on her head and she actually did kind of injure herself.
Quite
so
desperate,
that'd be really desperate. But this person on Twitter, and we'll take a look at a few more tweets on it in a little while in Campaign Chronicles. Eva Joly took a fall, and given how high she was in the polls, if it was the same, it probably wasn't a very big fall. So some person, perhaps in bad taste, and they're pointing that out in the comments.
You're going to have to save those, James.
Right. We'll take a look at it in a little while.
Very catty. James will have more catty comments in Campaign Chronicles in around 20 minutes. Don't miss that. But right now we're going to have web news, and we've got more on Burma's parliamentary by-elections, and there are online reports of voting irregularities. Take a look.